If you are planning to study abroad in 2025 or 2026, and Norway is one of those countries you plan to send your applications to, then you need to watch this video. In fact, do not send in that application until you've seen this video to the end. In this video, I'll be telling you everything you need to know about studying in Norway, the updates around tuition fee for international students, and everything you need to know if you're going to send in your applications. If you're planning to study for a master's, a bachelor's degree, or even a PhD degree, then this video is the only video you need to be watching. Hello everyone, my name is Alison Choandu. I am a Nigerian living in Norway. I share my experiences about navigating life and everything in general in Norway from my own lens, and I also share useful and valuable information around scholarships and opportunities to study abroad. If this sounds like something you are interested in, stick around, subscribe, and join me on this journey. Thanks. Let's go back to the video. So for starters, Norway is a part of Scandinavia, just as Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, and the rest of them. Norwegian is the first language, or norsk. So everybody that lives here that wants to be fully integrated into the society has to have at least A2 understanding of Norwegian. However, English is a second language, and we have up to like 80% of the population speaking English. But if you want to be fully integrated, just as I said, if you want to get a good job, if you want to communicate better with everybody, it is best you have a good understanding of Norwegian. Norway is expensive, but it also depends on your lifestyle. So if you know what you're doing and how you're doing it, you'll be able to navigate the system and know where to get good information. If not, if you're a flamboyant person and you like the lifestyle and all that, it means you have your money or something. But yeah, it is possible for you to live on a budget whilst living in Norway. One of the questions I get asked more often is if it is possible to work in Norway without speaking Norwegian. So I have my answer is in between, because it's just dependent on the situation. So it depends on the career path you are tilting towards. If it is something around the healthcare or health related career paths or teaching, then you need to have Norwegian. If not, there are possibilities that you will not need the language as like a first-hand or first-off requirement for you to get a job. One important question I get quite a lot is if it is possible for you to study in English language while studying here in Norway. Yes, if you're coming to Norway, you can find courses that are taught in English language. But if you are coming to study in a bachelor's degree program, most of the courses are taught in Norwegian. But there are exceptions. If you're studying for a master's degree, you would find a lot of courses taught in English language. And so is the PhD degree programs, because that's more of a research-based study program. One of the factors that also determines if you'll find courses in English language or in Norwegian is the area or the type of course you're studying. If you're studying healthcare or health-related courses, you would need to have Norwegian proficiency up to B2 level for you to be enrolled in that course. So let's start from the beginning. In 2023, it was officially stopped for international students coming outside of the EU to study in Norway for free without paying tuition fee. But so before then, it was free for students like me or people coming outside of the EU, Asia, Africa to come study in Norway for free without paying tuition fee. The only thing you needed was to show that you can take care of yourself, like cover your living expenses whilst you study. That's why you needed like a proof of funds or that a bulk amount that would be sent to the Norwegian account to prove that you can stay. The money is still yours. You get access to it immediately you land into the country. But from June 2023, this was stopped and it was official for students in outside of the EU to come and study. So if you've been seeing online that studying in Norway is free, there's a clause to it. If you're outside of the EU, EU, you are from Africa, you're from Asia, you would pay school fees. But if you are from the EU, EEA, or Switzerland, you're still allowed to study here in Norway for free without paying tuition fee. What is the impact of this change? And we have seen that since June 2023, when this policy was implemented, we have seen a dramatic shift in the number of applications from international students. And from the data that has been collected, it was said that up to 80% decline has been seen from non-EU or EEA applicants coming into Norway. So there are lots of talented students who were previously drawn to the no tuition fee model, and now they were already finding other alternatives, because first off, Norway is quite expensive. The cost of living here is quite expensive, and coupled with the fact that you now have to pay school fees. So this really showed a significant drop in the interest rate for international students coming into Norway. So overall, they have seen like a negative impact on diversity and the international standing of Norway in higher education. So as of June and July 2025, a lot of meetings and discussions have been held by the parliament concerning this tuition fee for international students, and they came to a resolution that they would allow individual universities and colleges to set their own tuition fees for non-EU, EEA, and Switzerland students. So now they are taking the response. They are saying that we do not want to be responsible for giving this policy that international students would need to pay school fees. So they are giving this power or this responsibility now to the schools themselves, and they're saying that if you want these students to pay school fees or whatever amount you want them to pay, it is in your court to determine. So if you don't want them to pay, that is for you. If you want them to pay, that is still for you to decide. This is a good thing, and it is. So what does this mean? So this proposal now removes or replaces the previous requirement for a full cost pricing instead of a fixed cost or a fixed price fee. So now the institution now have the flexibility to determine the tuition fee levels for the various study programs. So the goal is to allow the universities to adapt to recruitment processes and the needs or based on the talent of the students, and it can be reversed. They have like the autonomy of determining what model would suit them or what model would suit the programs that the students are applying for. So the government is saying that this same model is what is adopted in the UK, in the US, Netherlands, and other institutions around the world. So they are saying, the university is saying that this is a welcome development as it allows flexibility, and it will allow the Norwegian universities to compete with other Nordic universities and the universities in the UK and around the world. However, putting a tuition fee is not just what will work. They have to do enough marketing and enough recruitment to make sure that they meet their goals. A lot of many student organizations in Norway say that this is a step in the right direction. However, they will continue to advocate for the return of tuition-free education for international students, saying that it is important to bring back this diversity, and it is important that education is accessible to everyone, especially people coming from low-income countries, and the barrier of finance should not be a limitation to having access to quality education. For PhD programs, which usually cost about 325,000 annually to study here in Norway, they have reduced it to 80,000 Norwegian kroner annually. That's about $7,000 or thereabout. So instead of paying about 32 or 30,000 dollars to study for a PhD program, they have reduced it to about 7,000, which is like really positive, because now they're trying to welcome more changes in pursuing advanced research and studies in the country, and they feel like if this amount is being reduced, it will encourage more international PhD candidates to apply to Norwegian universities. These conversations are kept more open, and it is good that they are listening. More conversations are being had concerning this particular topic, and this is just a step and it is not the destination, which is very, very good if you ask me, because already the cost of living in Norway is very high, and now you have to also consider the cost of paying school fees. It's possible that things will go back to normal. However, if you have the finance to cover yourself to come study in Norway, do not hesitate. Norway is a very, very progressive society. There are lots of jobs if you are strategic. I will try to do a video regarding the kind of courses I would suggest people come and do in Norway, that you have high potentials of getting stability or settlement after studying. There are some courses that I would not advise somebody to come and study in Norway if they want to pursue a degree, because I know that it is not relevant. If your plan is long-term settlement, it's always wise that you do your own research and understand what is relevant within the society that you are trying to migrate to. If your passion is not relevant to the society, there might be a little bit of hiccups there, because you will not really be able to integrate faster. It's not impossible. It is very possible. It is just wise that you look for things or courses that are relevant within the country, so that it will be easier for you to transition from being a student into the workforce easily. There is no gatekeeping here. I do not hoard information or share it just within my circle. I am here to share whatever information I feel is valuable, and if I have not mentioned something that you feel is important, drop it down in the comment section and I will consider talking about it in the future. It's very possible for you to study and migrate into Norway. Put your mind or your eyes on the price, what you're coming for. Do your research around the country and the area you want to come and study. You don't need to pay an agent to process your application to study in Norway. There is a website that you can go onto and you do the applications yourself. I'll put that information in the description. I'll also share some of the sources that I got this information or this update about the tuition fees and PhD language and everything that you need to know for you to do your own research in your own time, so that you know that I'm not just sharing information based off of my own speculations, but I am sharing based off of the facts that I have received and based off of the current discussions going. Thank you very much if you have watched this video up until this point. If you feel like there's a topic you would like me to discuss, drop it in the comment section and I'll be really happy to read it and possibly talk about it in my next videos. Follow, subscribe, and share this video to someone who you feel it will be helpful to. Thank you very much for sticking around up until this point. I will see you in my next video. Bye for now. Stay safe. Bye-bye.